Name Derek Morgan. Profession mortician at Hillbrook Asylum. I'm here to report what happened earlier this morning and what has been going on for the last little while. Not too long ago, Hillbrook was sent a message from a terrorist organization named the Silent, who stated that they infiltrated the asylum. Their intentions were pretty simple. They wanted Hillbrook to change their tactics for patient therapy, or else they would deploy an attack on the asylum. About a month ago, they made a new ploy: force Wickman to resign, or else they would invade. This surprisingly didn't work, so I guess they started to get desperate. Recently, some of their higher members committed various acts, such as releasing inmates or holding people for ransom. I want to say the most impressive thing they've done recently was create a super weapon referred to as the Sound Shredder. It's a gauntlet that releases violent sound waves that can tear through solid steel. We heard word that the owner of this weapon was coming to Hillbrook, but we didn't think things would turn out this much in our favor. Everything came to a close earlier this morning. You see, today's my day off, and I had just gotten back to my car when I realized I left an important paper behind that I had to turn in. On the way back, I heard some small noises here and there, assuming it was either some guards or maybe some inmates. It was a stupid assumption, but to be fair, I was falling asleep from, all this work I have to do. As I opened the door to my office, I noticed two things. The first being that the door was unlocked, and the second being that the noises were louder. By that point, I knew people were inside. I was discreet enough to see who they were without being noticed. And there were 20 of them. I knew who they all were from their gear. The important thing for me was that two of the big guns were there: Uproar and that guy that was known for using the sound shredder. I also noticed they weren't all that heavily armed. I immediately called security and Wickman, and I guess my voice is what gave me away, because I was soon surrounded by those psychopaths. None of them uttered a single word. They were all watching me, quiet as a corpse. Then Uproar picked me up by the neck and pulled out this huge combat knife. I swear to God, the guy was about to cut me open when I heard two gunshots, breaking both the knife and loosening the grip the guy had on me. I was able to make a break for it as bullets flew in both directions. Our security team brought the best of ours, not holding back at all. They closed in on the terrorists, who slowly started decreasing in numbers. I was hiding behind this steel fridge, peeking out of morbid curiosity to see how many were left. The firing slowly stopped, but there seemed to be a lot of screaming. I turned back to see how many were left. 5. 3 unnamed silent members, their second in command, and Uproar, who was holding a grenade high up in his hand. He ordered the others to go as he stared at us, smiling like a psychopath. Pieces of his mask had been torn off, revealing the most sadistic smile I had ever seen. His lips and teeth were smeared with blood. Bits and pieces of his face had been torn off. I don't know whether these were caused before or after the firefight, but it gave him the appearance of a mangled and broken man. Blood was oozing out of his many bullet holes, yet he still stood tall, cackling. He was screaming various unintelligible words, his eyes flying in every direction. Then he roared one last insult, distorted from clear pain he was in. It sounded something like, "I served my purpose. Now Hillbrook falls." He unpinned the grenade, preparing to throw it. The world moved so slowly as he did so. Depending on where it landed, the whole building could come down. If that didn't kill me, then the blast would definitely cause some problems. Maybe igniting a gas pipe or sending shrapnel all over the place. I watched in horror as the grenade was slowly rolling out of the palm of his hands and grazing his fingertips. Then, a final gunshot was heard, and the grenade exploded in Uproar's face. His entire body decimated within seconds. He was covered in fire, but he didn't respond to it. His head had been completely caved in. I looked back to see the smoking barrel of a revolver held by none other than our director, William Wickman. His face was stone cold as the burning corpse hit the floor. Everyone was silent for a while. Nobody could utter a word after witnessing such a grisly scene. The cops came not too long after. They took care of everything, and here I am now, giving my report. Listen, I have no idea what the hell they were doing, but now that their leader is dead, I'm pretty sure something's gonna happen. I don't know what, and I don't know when, but those last few guys are coming back at some point. Worst of all, they still have the sound shredder. God knows what they're gonna use that for. There's one last thing I need to mention. Don't tell Wickman this, but that guy actually scares me. I know it was an act of self-defense and he saved all of our lives, but seriously. Jesus Christ, man. There was something in his eyes, something dark. It freaked me out. Whatever. My job isn't to judge the living. Things should go back to normal soon. I mean, there can't be anything more to this, right?